Hello, welcome back. I'm Lady Darkness, and this is Confessions from the Dark Side. How are you on this wonderful community? This is reviews from the dark side. But let's get the disclaimer out of the way, shall we? We are feeling so much adult content that some of you think this is necessary and some of you think this isn't needed. If you are one of those people, then thanks for checking us out. But I'll say this only once. If you can't stand the heat, then get the fuck out of my kitchen. Now, for everyone else who likes what we have, here the regular scheduled programming will continue. Shall we get started? And are we ready? What are we covering today? Like I said, it's reviews from the dark side, and today we have what would you do to keep your sparkle shine the brightest and for longer. We are reviewing The Substance. I thought I had already did this, but I haven't. Apparently I did, but there was an issue with Craig. Craig was being a dick and didn't record everything the way it was supposed to, so I'm going back and doing some of the recordings that I had already done in the past that I never got to do. One of the movies that I wasn't surprised it was a good movie, or I wasn't surprised that it got such a presence on each red carpet, on award shows and everything, and the hard work of this movie paid off. So, like I said, we are going to be doing The Substance, and the question is, what will a star do to keep their sparkle shine for longer? At the start of the movie, the scene of the opening is an egg yolk being injected with a reanimator style syringe. And if you're not sure about what the Reanimator is a movie that pretty much reanimates as a syringe that can do things. It's a bright green substance. And again, it gives me very Reanimator vibes, which is a H.P. Lovecraft story. It's replicating itself, and let's see how it implicates this, shall we? A star, her name on the path, the popularity contest showing the stars past, present, and future, and how long they are in the spotlight. Doesn't matter how long you're in the spotlight for, because it never lasts that long. So grab all the opportunities you can when you can, so you can stay there for as long as you can. Stars fade, crack, and become weathered, showing people forgetting who the star is for and who she even was. You don't forget, but others might over time. Lots of people are walking all over the star, which is again not a euphemism, because like I said before, your time in Hollywood is minor. It's insignificant to the actual world because it is humongous. It's a mass universe, basically. Hollywood in itself. It's full of very, very seedy, very, very dark people and situations, all for fame, clout, and basically popularity. So lots of people have always dreamed of becoming a star. Will do everything in their power to get where they want to be, where they think they should be, and they won't give a fuck about who they take down in the process. Lie, cheat, and steal, and it still goes on today. So people are walking across this star on the ground, and again, it's not a euphemism. It's basically the world walking on top of you when they've forgotten who you are because you are not at the peak of your career anymore. Washed up in time to die. It's a Jane Fonda style workout woman, like a female Mr. Motivator like we had in the 80s here in the UK. Very Olivia Newton-John physical, even down to the high leg bodysuit and matching leg warmers. Not particularly great workout, mostly just like a fap out in the morning, and then why not? Because you've got a relatively flexible, limber lady showing you what you shouldn't really be doing in this day and age, but hey, there's plenty of other exercises that are better. But again, she has a following, and again, a routine of the fact that it's on every single day. Again, she's surrounded by younger versions of herself, so a way of self-hate and self-loathe is amplified with old pictures and glamorous shots of her, a reminder of what she once was, living with that every day. A lot of very overwhelming realities of when you get old, take care of yourself and take care of the people around you. Again, it's her birthday. Everyone's wishing her a happy birthday, but it's really transparent because they know that she should be retiring by now, and she's not the hot name out there because she's older, and it's not real, and you can tell that it's more like, get the fuck out, you're old, you're past it, fuck off. The carpet looks really shiny and the furnishings are very 70s and 80s. A deep shaggy carpet, pimp style apartment with a billboard showing herself, literally looking into her life from her apartment out with work. So she's seeing a very polished version of herself doesn't exist anymore, or if ever. And again, you see that again now with social media, with filters, and how people are not comfortable in their own skin because of how your life is perceived on the internet. That's pretty much what this movie is showing you and amplifying and showing you how it actually is for some people. You have this glamorous part of your life that everybody seems to think that you have 24/7, and that's not how it works. But hey, Dennis Quaid is the manager. He's like the guy that you have to impress to basically get to where you are. He plays this role really well. He's pissing in the toilet and he's telling a casting person to find someone younger because Elizabeth Sparkle is not what they want. She's too old and they have no use for her anymore. They want a younger, sexier look and she's too past it. So they want a new star of their morning workout, bring in a different audience and give their ratings a jolt like never before. Now, people need to remember, most folk don't watch morning workout things. Maybe they did maybe the 90s was the last time they actually watched something like that. I can assure you, YouTube content is where it is. Social media shorts is where it is, not TV shows where people doing exercises. Definitely not. The shrimp noise is disgusting. He's making this weird manky noise and he's just a disgusting bastard when he does it. It makes you hate him even more. I was warned about this scene before I actually watched the film because it was just, he was told to be a cunt basically. He was told to act like that and act like one of the Hollywood players that would act like you're not interested anymore. They can't be bothered with you. They don't want to know you type of. It's not ASMR, it's such a turn off and it shows the character has no manners or etiquette, but a lecherous old man that wants you to feel uncomfortable in his presence. And I think we all have all came across people like this or have done. And in this world, there's plenty of them, unfortunately. I don't know who's more lecherous than them all because we've all heard, read, and saw things. What can I say? He's telling her that they want new. She heard it. She heard it in the bathroom. I knew the meeting was to book her and not give her anything they had promised her when she left. Which again, it's a contract. So again, you would have to pay her or give her a credit somewhere so that they could change the face of the morning show without her. But he wants her to get nothing. And again, this has happened and it still happens. Please read your contracts or get a legal person to look over it for you before you sign. Because this will screw you in the end game and no one wants that. Some sign thinking they can change it or thinking that they'll get better as time goes on. But these are the dumbasses who complain and blame others all because they didn't read the fine print or understand what it means. Be better, understand things better, or negotiate better terms for you for your outcome. She's on billboards, but they are renewing the pictures. Seeing your face toned down after that meeting, that would do a number on you for sure. And then bam, a crash. She seems to have been T-boned from the side of an intersection. Not pretty. Was this game over? This was the start of the movie, what the fuck? And she's done. Say it isn't so. The doctor says his wife is a big fan. Silent and emotional. She was in an era and her career is over. She still gets people recognising her, but it's the past tense. They speak of her again. She was still on TV at this point, yet they speak of her when she was popular, and everywhere else they talk about her past like she's not even there anymore, like she doesn't exist. Like she's disappearing and she's sitting right there in front of them. It's very condescending and really ignorant for someone to do that. Again, no manners, no etiquette, but this is how people act, and they act worse now than they ever did because most people have no filters, like myself, and a lot of the time we say things. A lot of the time we don't even realise we've said it because that's just the way humans are. Again, he starts to fiddle with her back and she thinks something is wrong, but apparently she's perfect. Yet the nurse is a bit overly familiar and his eyes are, well, they're a sight. You can't help but look. In her pocket, there was a data stick. The substance is written on it, and a note that says it changed their life. I thought it was a lighter, but apparently it's a data stick. She's surrounded by her younger self, always a shadow of herself from that time, her best time. They keep fixating that young is the better time. Young might be, for some people, their time might be after they're famous and they actually get to live the life that they wanted. They don't have the pull to the life they had. A lot of people get to a point in their life where all they've done is work, and they've not got time to enjoy their life because their work has been the main part of their life. So they've never get married or never had kids or they've never just literally sat, took a breath and took in life. She has all this time, but she wasn't ready to leave. It's just society telling her that she's old and she shouldn't be there, but that doesn't happen for men in the industry. It does actually now. People still think it's just women that get it, but men get it as well. If you're too old, then you get dad roles, or if you've let yourself go, for example, and you don't want to work out as much, then you get put into roles that you would never have done before. But see, if you're not as talented as you people think you were because you've went on your looks rather than your talent, then that's not on everybody else. That's on you. That's not you've not went out to better yourself or evolve as an actor or evolve as a performer. That's all on you. That's not on anybody else for you to tweak these things as they go along. People automatically think it's to do with aesthetics that you get to where you are. There is to an extent. But if you don't have the fucking talent, then you will find out when you've lost your youth that you maybe weren't that great in the first place. And stop blaming other people because it's you. Surrounded again, like I said, younger version, a shadow. She got some red roses and it says that we are from work. And again, I'd rather have nothing than have fake, false presents from people who you don't even know or don't even know anything about you other than the fact that you work with them. Wear sunscreen. Voice. If you remember Baz Luhrmann's Wear Sunscreen. That song has so many statements in it that you only really get when you're older and you're looking back. You are the matrix. Everything comes from you. It is you. A bit Hollywood cult vibes, and again, the mood sets it closer to the 70s and 80s fashion style, which is actually coming back. Just the whole movie is based in our time with the technology, but it's set in the past. Not sure if it's because of when she had her heyday was that at this moment, and maybe she's stuck in that sort of time where she is Elizabeth Sparkle then, but she hasn't opened her eyes to see who she is now, or it could be the fact that she was at her happiest at this time, so she hasn't moved on or evolved from it. Live in her moment, not the now type of thing, unable to move on, or maybe doesn't want to. So we find out the substance is 7 days on, 7 days off. The transition is only 7 days. So 7 days off meaning she has to be in her original self to regenerate and rest between, as anything worth doing will be painful, no doubt. Can't escape from yourself. Nope, you cannot. But you can start to love yourself at all stages of life and really appreciate who you are. But in this world, there is less of this when she was at the start of fame. These days, body shaming is awareness. There are people who still say shitty things, but there is more body and sex positivity out there now than there has ever been than there was back then. 4 martinis deep and she's proper going for it. Show them you still have it and that you're better off without them, and getting drunk is clearly the smartest option not. The infamous scene of her watching herself in the bathroom mirror, watching herself not knowing herself and hating herself. We as humans are always obsessed with perfection, but we are who we need to be. If there is something you aren't happy with, then please seek help and do what you need to do. Just fuck what others say about you. Just tell me to fuck off. Your inner saboteur is enough. We don't need them to destroy us because we do a perfectly good job of doing that to ourselves. It is difficult. I even struggle. Lots of people do with it, but we can change it. How your sparkle fades, you aren't in the spotlight for long. Thoughts in her head as she looks at herself, not recognising her face, and again living in the past. How much of her hate is for how she looks now, and how much self-loathe has she always had? Our brains are wonderful, but they are also very toxic. The toxic environment, if you let it. She's at her worst and she calls the number, of course. You do. The substance is basically a mysterious booty call. Not sure what to expect or how long it will last, but you just want it and you need it, so you put up with it. I would like to order. They give her an address and she goes to pick it up. Looks like Dodgy fell off the back of the lorry place. Very clinical and clean. Just a place where it has, what it needs. Nothing fancy. Demi or Demi, she plays this role incredibly well, and I like how they have portrayed every look, every moment of her life, every moment of her sparkle, as they call it, because her name is Elizabeth Sparkle, and it's showing her the stages of her life. And as I've said before, they picked an amazing actress to actually live this life and show it on screen. And they've also picked an amazing actress that not only is talented and a very, very beautiful woman, she also has been through her own turmoil and toxicity of Hollywood and her own plastic surgery journey and the things that have came along side by side with that, with the fact that time is evil, time is not good for us all, and it's a harsh dose of reality of what you once were, even though you still are that person, but the outside packaging is different. And Demi really, really does pull it off well. Demi's titty shot, she also looks rough. They picked her, like I said, perfect actor to play this, because we all know she has a natural beauty. Then she had a ton of work done and her whole body changed. Her face has looked unhappy for a while, And in this, her life changed and her experience of all this and her plastic surgery journey. I'm sure she's used a lot of her own experiences and personal feelings and emotions to bring this into the character to show us how evil and narcissistic the world is, and how if you don't take preventative measures, then you are over. She sees an advert in the paper. Who will be the next Elizabeth Sparkle? Again, a way to push a very upset and sad woman over the edge, and all the windows in her apartment. It's just open call to jump, because it's basically like a glass fishbowl. And this guy looking down, looking at billboards that are covered in her, and they've also been toned down. And the fact that she literally is looking out as the world is going on around her and she's stuck. It's literally a punishment in herself by living there, and I can't imagine it being a particularly healthy environment for her. It's like she died, not her career, and again, she didn't have to let it die. She could have done other things and shown she had growth, but she didn't. She stunted. She stunted it herself by being with that network on that show and doing nothing much else. She done it to herself. You don't ever put all your eggs in one basket. Be creative, smash them, start again, scramble it up, make it your choice, how you live your life and what you want to do as a career. Mix it the fuck up. She's number 503, but it's a key card and the shutter sticks. She climbs under it as a test, or is the shutter shite? Who the fuck knows? A white room with lockers and numbers on it, and the box says 503. She opens it, one activator, and it's very clinical and is single use stabilizer. Other self switch, food self, other self food cards explaining what you do at each step, and remember you are the one. Very cult like. But naked Demi. There we go. My God, I wasn't expecting to see so much. But again, she's hearing the speech. This is the better version of yourself. You can be the version of yourself that you want to be, that you desire the most. It's very reanimated, even the colour. I'm not one for nails, but half of Hollywood would do this. They would allow this. Why not? Because they could be younger and be able to stay in the limelight for longer. I don't think there's anything that would stop anyone at this rate. We've seen a lot of atrocities over the past few years at how selfish that world is. Up close injections? No thank you. Oh, it's almost in. It's almost. She looks at herself in the mirror, thinks nothing is happening, and then we get a full frontal shot. Now she's on the floor and she is what you would class as timmying out. She looks like she's having a full bodygasm. She's shaking. It was very Existence, if you can remember that weird sci-fi horror movie from the 90s. Body mixing movements, two pupils, one moving, and then like totally like the egg at the start where it's replicating itself, and then it just like goes into one. And then she's getting like two eye colours as well, like changing herself. She's escaping her own body and being reborn to an extent. A bunch of lights and noises that are making me feel a wee bit sick at this point, and then a fire, a heart, then her body's on the floor, her old self and the new younger self is out. It's very hardcore Henry, third person shooter type feel, the way you're actually reliving and actually being traumatized all at the same time. Why not? We're there for the show, aren't we? She's new and young, reborn, naked, and in shock about her transformation. I am not fucking surprised. Full frontal, wouldn't we all just check ourselves out, to see if everything works? Her eyes are different and have the activation colour, very reptilian here. She's letting her hands wander all down her body, even a shot of her downstairs, showing actual pubic hair for once. I was like, whoo! I thought they would go too young looking, but I was glad that they actually had pubic hair where there should be. Young self stitching herself up, and she's puking. Well, I'm not surprised because it is really just a blood show. It is a body horror movie. I wasn't expecting it to be soft and fluffy. She puts the IV of the food into, again, the old body. Well, she gets to live for 7 days. She can't stop touching herself, as dodgy as that sounds. It's new and young again. We've all had that issue, don't we, where we feel great about yourself. Let your hands wander. Exactly. She took a shower, her nose starts to bleed. We noticed that a lot of the time, if you don't actually follow the rules, that you will have repercussions for your own actions. And again, this was all in black and white at the very start of taking this. So just because her young self is obviously dumber, or that's what they're trying to portray, that she's young and dumb, not fully come yet, but hey. Then she didn't take the canister, taking some of the old you, yeah. You were supposed to take this syringe and take a part of your spinal fluid and then inject it into yourself. And this is what the whole you've got to follow the rules type thing, or you will get, or it'll become fucky with you. So she's doing her yoga and she's very bendy, of course. She sees a bodysuit and she's like, yep, that's me. They're auditioning for her job and she comes in with a call on me vibe. If you remember is it Eric Perez did the cover of Call on Me, and it's got the kind of cheesy 80s workout gear on, but it's really questionable and it's literally camel toe everywhere. Electric Cowboy did, yes, I'm going to mention them. Electric Cowboy does it in trumpet and they portray it really, really well as they do. But yeah, it's very calling me, look at my crotch, look at my tits, look at my body. Exactly what you want a first thing in a Monday morning, or every morning that is, to see some girl in scantily clad and doing some exercises. I do air quotes as I say that because it's literally her stretching and bending over, and no doubt they will get lots of new attention from that video. I'm not saying it's a bad thing, sex sells. Would I tune in? Most likely. What does that say about me? She calls herself Sue, and they keep playing her name and they keep saying her name and asking her measurements, and it is so creepy. But it's the kind of shit that they do ask in auditions, is your measurements and stuff and your height and everything like that. So again, not uncommon for that to happen. The guy asked her name or measurements, a question that would be on her CV, but they made it even more creepy by asking, and they'd like slowed it down so it'd be even more creepy. What a gorgeous little angel. Again, trying to make her innocent, yet they want to sell her as sex. It's such a contradiction in how like they want her to portray innocence, but they're going to sell her for sex. Smoking, Dennis Quaid, and they emphasise his mouth looks like an asshole, but hey, if the shoe fits, mouth like an asshole probably is one. Keeps clicking his fingers, which is such a rude asshole thing to do. We all know a person who overuses a click of the fingers and it just makes you look and sound like a douche. Yes, I want you. We will deal with any mother, brother, whatever. We want you, he says. She has to be off the weeks in between. He wants her and only her. I think we've heard that before. Plenty. She gets to relive her sparkle and time in the spotlight in a new form, showing her transformation and what she's doing on the show in her sparkle burning. She's in a kimono with a massive fiery dragon on it, shedding a new skin, a stronger self, a hidden message there that she is the stronger one of the transformation. The kimono is off and now they switch and her blood goes into the old body. I'm expecting both transitions to be painful at first and then you would get used to it over time. It's not pretty. Did you expect it to be so easy? If it was, more people would do it, but it only seems to be a chosen few. It's not an all, it's for everyone, put it that way. Amy wakes up in agony, I'm not surprised. Stitched up like a horror show, and now she seems to see herself in her new self. All it was disfigurement and a nap, it seems. She showers and she returns to work, and he gives her the box of her belongings and says it's great to see you, and then fucks off. He's basically said you are done. She imagines it differently, which again gives me the Shining vibes. When you have or will be having your little break from reality before the whole world shatters, the realization of how not to handle rejection and self-loathe happens. Your refill kit has been delivered to your deposit box. So again, she has to keep going back. It's like addicts going for methadone. It's like they're checking on you to see if you're actually going through with the steps of 7 days on, 7 days off, if you're actually doing what you're supposed to be doing, type of thing, like they're checking up on you. It's so sex sells, even down to the Diet Coke. Remember, it was okay to sexualise men in Diet Coke ads, but when women were used, it was diabolical. No, it's not. But yes, using the coldness of a drink and emphasising on our lips and mouth is to give the viewer a memory of mouths. Well, what can or has been in there, and you could be too. If you've got it, flaunt it at any age, any size, any everything. That's what I say. We spend so much time fixating on what the outside world thinks, when all that matters is what we think of ourselves. It's very 80s sleaze, but in this time, which usually annoys me, but this is set this way to show how Lizzie was and still is a strong character and still has it, but Hollywood can't see it for being so blind and superficial and Hollywood at its best. Can only see it through Sue, the impact on what she is having on the network. She has started remodeling the bathroom and it's the worst DIY I've ever seen. And she is channeling I can't get no satisfaction. You know, I can't get no satisfaction. That video, very sexualized and focusing on a woman's assets with the power tools and stuff. That's pretty much sex sales again. A neighbour's complaining of the noise and then Sue makes it all better by saying his name and being dominating towards him with her body. Hey, if you got it. Is that any way to treat any human being? No. But he wants Sue and most likely will do anything, and we call that an S word, SIMP. I do not like that word at all. That is described anyone who is drawn towards someone on the internet, especially, and also on the big screen. I hate that word. I absolutely despise it. And it's mostly banned in a lot of places from saying it. That's why I spelt it out. But that's how they're trying to portray that men around her are being for her, basically. And it happens. It happens all over the internet, unfortunately. And sometimes the communication is mixed and sometimes the communication is lost in translation, and then that's when serious shit starts to happen. She made a room to store her other self when in use, but again it looks closer to a dungeon. She drags her other self across the carpet. Hello, rug burns. Poor Demi getting rug burns all over her ass, man. How the fuck? That's not very nice. Fucking respect your other body. You wouldn't be there if it wasn't for her, so fucking respect it. She's redecorating, as she said Elizabeth has moved on. It sounded like she died and not moved out, but she would be back though, so Sue is a bit of a dumbass with that. It's a little white lie, but also it's a bit of a cunty thing to do. Pump it up. That's going to get anyone's heart pumping watching that in the morning. Basically, porn on a morning show sounds good start to your morning, we can say. For Sue for free and pump it up in more ways than one. It's 80s with so much makeup, fashion, and raw sex appeal. Isn't that what we're missing in the mornings? Also, close up of getting ready. Love it. There's something for everyone. Also, her snakeskin outfit is such a play on her shedding a new skin. She has knee highs on with a red sole, which again is fucking hot. I do love me a lovely set of footwear with the red sole. What can I say? It's hot. She's owning it and she's fucking loving it. Also, I got a bit of Zoolander there from the convertible orange mocha frappuccino moment there when she's in the car and she's just like driving about like she's got not a care in the world. Would she be a virgin since she has a new body and the old body is waking up? She's about to get her whole and her body is well going all weird because she's gotta do the transition or she'll end up fucked up, you know, switch every 7 days without exception. White cards with black lettering in massive caps without exception. But hey, she takes more than that. She can have sex. Would you? She does everything basically she has to do because she wants to have sex with this guy. She suffers the consequences. Ooh, the nightmare of your back becoming exposed and your insides making their way out of the snakeskin. Can I unsee that? She wakes up to a mess and an old witchy finger, which is side effects as Sue stayed Sue for longer than she expected. So this is the actual start of the repercussions for your actions and not actually doing what you're supposed to be doing with warnings. So she's ended up with a weird finger. You think that would put her off from doing it, but no, this is not how this story ends. Because she took another day to get fucked and her aging has dramatically sped up. She's also not helping, and well, it's the selfish part who was selfish more, Elizabeth or Sue. She calls the number, the slight change, once it's done, there's no going back. Respect the balance, you are one, and this is what they both fail to see throughout the story, that they are still the same person, but that are two separate people with two separate agendas, but they're still the one person, and if Sue stays in the body longer, it affects Elizabeth, and if Elizabeth stays in the body, it would affect Sue too. So they're trying to get them to work together, but it's selfish at the end of the day of why they wanted to be there, how they wanted to be, and the person that they actually become. It's showing you, again, how selfish the world is of beauty and fame and clout. Even our apartment is very 80s Hollywood. Very look at how much money I don't have, but I will show you what I have so I look adequate enough. And again, what is the point of being competitive with nothing? She sees her young self on the network and sees what Sue has done to her show. If this was an option for her during her time at the network, would she have done it? Would she have done it the same, stayed the same, no change? Again, her choice not to fight for something more the older she got. People are becoming obsessed with Sue, including the neighbour, who's a dick usually. Again, sex sells, but how many of us are working out with Sue or having a wank? I think the latter. She's super paranoid in a cafe, of course. It's long, isn't it? 7 days. She sees his number is 207 and she sees he's the nurse from the hospital. He was checking in on her. It gets harder each time and that you still matter. Did she need to hear this or has she realised what will actually happen if she keeps allowing Sue to borrow more time than she isn't supposed to have? Has she started eating away at you? Nothing creepier than yourself eating yourself now. You would expect to have that done to you, not done to yourself. But however, again, she has the guy's number from the start. Closer to stalker, not childhood peer. He will obviously had a thing for her. The guy asks her out and again, if you met someone that you grew up with and you had a thing for them, say in secondary school or high school or college or whatever, and you met them randomly, if you still had genuine feelings for that person, it wouldn't matter what they fucking looked like. Or if they were older, they'd still be the person that you fell in love with or you had feelings for. And that's, again, it kind of tried to show you that the guy didn't give a fuck what age she was because he still had true feelings for her and had some sort of connection with her. So that's what they're actually showing you, that it didn't matter, that she could have had a happily ever after with a guy who obviously she may not have noticed. It happens. To me, plays the self-loathing that many of us feel every day, some more than others. It's not always about youth, but with the way the world is shaming us for not being perfect, not having the perfection. And beauty is actually in the eye of the beholder. And we are not all the same, and neither is the beholder. To me, also does this thing I am bad for after a full face. You put your makeup on and taking it off because you think it's too much. Then you're second guessing yourself before leaving. It's a sad day when we cannot appreciate ourselves at any age and any stage of our lives. See what we are and what we have overcome to get here. We all go through that. She's infuriating herself. And again, self-hate is a fucking dangerous journey. And if you get in a spiral of that, it's incredibly difficult to get out of. It's very real. I love how she played it because no matter your age, we feel it. Just how society makes us feel we're never good enough when we are. Contract and head between your legs. And then she sees her ass and she freaks out. Her ass is like, when you see filler falling and it all goes weird. She sticks her hand in and she pulls out a chicken leg out of her ass. That was hilarious. But it was all a dream and she was in her kimono and she's eating a lot of junk food and food she shouldn't. But she's fucking with Sue now because Sue keeps taking additional time, so she's eating bad food and she's not looking after herself. So Sue has to deal with jiggly arse syndrome, which again is the least of our fucking problems. The show has been cancelled in the morning. People love you. They adore you. She's wanted for a New Year's Eve show. 50 million people watching, but it's when she's supposed to be the other version, the original, but she's pushing it again. She isn't changing back. And I feel sick. I really hate needles. And again, if you've got to do it every 7 days, it just goes to show how selfish one person can be, or both people can be, actually, to stay in that world and stay in that different version of yourself. The fact that you'll put your actual health at risk just for a couple more days in a body. It's all about actions have consequences and taking advantage, which is what problem, who's staying longer than they should. Is it Sue or is it Elizabeth? She's got increased aging. So the woman in the bathtub from The Shining is how I saw the resemblance of Demi Moore when she was changing back. Would you like to go back to just being you on your own again? It's a drug. I can't stop. She's a selfish bitch. You are the Matrix. You can go back. No, you fucking can't. Just to be respected, yet she's physically beating herself up. Is it really fucking worth it? No, not at this stage, but you've literally done it now, so you might as well just go for it. Wouldn't you say? Yes, yes. She's half an elderly woman, and well, she's kind of remains like an old hag. She chose to stay this way. Now she has a frozen knee, and look, that is fucking unpleasant. But she looks more older than she was before the substance had entered. The present from her old employer is from his wife, who thinks she should make French food because apparently she's retiring. Really? She goes and makes this French food, ripping the piss out of her young self. She's eating fatty foods, destroying her other self. It's so funny because it's disturbing that she's watching Sue like a stalker or a mad ex, making fun of her and trying to destroy herself. So Sue hasn't even had her job to maintain the damage that she's doing to herself. Like, you for doing this to me now, suffer the consequences of your actions, you cunt. But she's like, me. And that's the kind of, like, she's like, my name is Sue, and ripping the piss out herself. It's just the weirdest thing to actually see Demi Moore do, and you see it in this movie. And again, she's just fucking brilliant in it. Elizabeth Sparkle's replacement unturned it up from her and made it your own. It's very visual for all us visual learners of the AM. You're fucking Jurassic Fitness. She's fucking losing her shit. Love it. Sparkle, your life was a part of our childhood. She's shown basically some sort of connection that you wouldn't exist without me, because she's on a fucking TV show trying to act like Elizabeth Sparkle was a part of her, even though it is a part of her, and she's trying to act like she's from this like small country life. So she's taken part of her actual other self and she's trying to sell it as like, oh, I watched Elizabeth Sparkle growing up and I'm just changing it for the 21st century and making it my own and showing to me as you've never seen her before, and we are here for each and every second of it. We love you. Show us more of this. Say it. Tell them your little beauty secret. And she's flashing her body in her robe, and Sue says always being herself is her secret. Some too much of herself. She's mixing the new version of yourself. You're the secret. She's proper hating herself. Shower scene. Haven't we had a hateful shower scene of our own? Shit happens, life happens, we move on. Cut through yourself. Screamed by Sue. It cuts to how they leave each other and for weeks. And while Elizabeth is mental and is putting newspapers all over the windows, roasted fatty birds and destroying her. So the other destroys by taking more time, exacerbates her condition of aging, but she's all in and invested in destroying Sue, but willing to go into standby, which is weird again. Addiction does things to you, and this is no different. 3 months later, and it's the New York New Year's Eve show. Some flowers, but different messages like break a leg. They're going to love you. Okay. Don't they already love me? She should be thinking she's made them lots of money and revenue with her show. With her body, she is everything. Everyone loving her at the price. It's a build-up of, well, other self in her room she's created, and she started to feel weird, not surprised. You've been a greedy cunt. You've taken too much time in that body. Calls the number. There's no more stabilizer for me. It means you're towards the end. You must switch so you can enjoy the experience. There is no other option. She is partially paralysed, it seems. The guy she was with hears a noise, gets up to check. What a fucking freak show. Yes. Elizabeth is mummified, a walking disaster, but the guy's cock is going to shrivel up and go inwards. It's got to. Unless he's into granny shagging, maybe he is. She looks like the Grand High Witch from The Witches, crossed with Tusk. So it's a challenging one, even for everyone, even for me. The original is pissed and well dying, kind of Danny DeVito penguin, even down to the hunched over walk. The visuals of that body doesn't even look human anymore. It's like, what the actual fuck is that thing? It should have been your first thought before injecting it into yourself. Too late now, for the damage is now done. The shit one would go through for a young and beautiful self. Would you? It seems too good to be true, and a lot of bad decisions made along the way that there is no coming back from. I want to stop, yet how many addicts say that, and how many actually stay clean? In this case, stopping would be giving up a life that has been created, so it's a reality of killing another version of yourself, even though they cannot survive without you. Again, giving you like the kind of conjoined twin vibes. Who would be the casualty? Most likely both. We'll deliver, the voice said again. The voice doesn't waver or get upset or happy. It's monotone, as am I. And it's just very analytical, and there isn't for any boo-hoos or tantrums, just there to give out instructions and to present the information when needed, as it's not a tech support line. It's more of a do this or don't, suffer the consequences you were told. Apache says the final, meaning it's the eradication of Sue. But what will Elizabeth look like now, and will the damage be reversible? I highly doubt it. Again, actions have consequences. Her neighbours stalking Sue. She screams, fuck you. I would say a lot more. When she's running like the Hunchback of Notre Dame, I was laughing. She has got some speed. She drags Sue's body and starts the final process. It's called termination. But can she even suck up to terminate her? That is the question. Are you sure you'll be able to just be on your own? Shut the fuck up. She says to herself, like she's just giving herself a hard time, and the syringe is in, but it's the decision making and the what ifs and her second guessing her decision to end this once and for all. You see sadness in Elizabeth, like she's killing a child, but she's killing a part of her. And she realizes that she doesn't want to end it this way, and then she tries to bring her back. She's looking at her picture, at her snow globe, her life, the billboard, and she starts the process but stops it because she's going to take her big break. She's going to take her big moment, and she feels like she's been selfish instead of letting Sue have this. It's our big night. I need you, and you have to come back again. Sounds like a mourning parent who's lost their child and would give anything to have them back one last time. Even though she hates what she has become, she still wants to bring her back. Into the heart, this time, and she wakes up and they are both awake at the same time. One is sucking the life out and the other is what the consequences of the younger new model is. She's gone feral and is attacking the original as she found out she's tried to terminate herself. She's like a fucking Terminator running after an old Demi. Or the old Demi. She's attacking her and most likely is going to kill her even though she cannot survive without her. Neither of them can, especially now with the way they have been treating each other's bodies. Fighting each other and killing her so she is the fittest of them both. That's the body horror we love, the smashing of your faces against the mirror in a tiled bathroom, ultimate ASMR noises there. She still amazes me that she gets away and she drags herself to the living room. Resilience. Dude, do you even have what it takes? Front kicks her through a table, sheer anger and adrenaline. She's kicking fuck out of her, and it's graphic blood spatter, but she's in this wee negligee and she's covered in splatter. And while Demi looks like Pinhead, she does not look in a good way. Sue looks at her billboard and the flowers and the messages. She did more than break a fucking leg. Evil carpet from The Shining in the hallway. Again, this ties in with psychotic breaks that Jack goes through in the stages with psychosis shatters and that the crazy takes over. As there is no stopping it, we are past the brink of no return, it seems here. Hair and makeup for the New Year's Eve show. She's getting ready and she's hearing a ring again. She's coughing and she's coughing a lot, and she needs to drink more. It sounds like she smokes like 80 a day the way she's coughing. Obviously, another reaction to how she's treated herself and Elizabeth. She's coughed and her tooth has come out. Actions have consequences. Also greedy, and it's a front tooth, so she's literally destroyed herself. It's happening so sped up for her. Also, kill the host, kill yourself. She sounds like the alien queen communicating at this point. A better version of yourself. It's the sale of the substance message playing. What would you do for a better life to be young and successful? Smile. Pretty girls should always smile. Again, beauty is in the eye of the beholder, so pretty and beautiful is different. Believe in beauty is on the inside, not on the outside, and I do still believe that, but not everybody does. So a fingernail off this is going to turn out to be a horror show for Halloween. At New Year's, I'm here for it. Looks closer to it. It comes in threes moment. Teeth, nails, what's next? The last is usually fatal. You fuck with the natural order of things, well, you know what happens in witchcraft. It comes back threefold. So you reap what you sow, a lesson to be learned. But in this case, it was ignored at all costs. Sue tries to replicate herself, as did Elizabeth. Single use, it was binned, holy fuck. What's about to happen? There are clear instructions, bin after use, 7 days on, 7 days off. You're not thinking clearly at all now, Sue, are you? Again, not the original, you are the creation, so you're thinking it would work. Well, you are not the sharpest tool in the shed now, are you? Not a good look for her. She looks like Jason after we see him with the mask off on roids. Also, Demi is in there and looking better than Sue. Teeth on boobs. Her chest, basically, she has actual teeth on breasts. It's the weirdest fucked up thing I've ever seen. But they had to go all out. Very Cenobite. I'm here for the Cenobite, Lizzie Sue. So, Monstrous Sue, kind of like Rita in Doom Patrol, you know, when she makes herself ugly because she does stupid shit. Yeah, that's pretty much when Rita's having a bad day. She becomes the creature version of herself. That's what it feels like. It's a horror story, that's for sure. Monstrous Sue to the rescue. Doesn't look human at all in her pretty party dress. Multiple faces. Putting earrings in instead of on looks kind of like the lepers in the X-Files. Even a roller to curl one strand of secondary hair. I'm surprised it didn't fall off. It ends up falling off, by the way. She's destroyed Elizabeth's picture. She's gluing parts of the picture of Elizabeth onto her face to hide what the end product. This is not even a good advertisement for the substance. What not to do? Yes, but not to sell it to a larger market. Putting her signature red lip on and waddling around like she's the pretty girl who smiles. Seriously, this body, is there anything to love, to explore? I don't know if she even knows if where her body parts are in their right place. This is where you belong, and it's all in her head. No shit. And Dennis Quaid is like, I shaped her for success. Haha. No, you did something. Definitely. There's burlesque dancers looking swell. Calm before the shitstorm. Lights, camera, fuck no music from 2001 Space Odyssey, infamous and well now horrific. Cue the vomiting in the aisles. She's got her breasts out and she can barely speak, and her picture falls off and they see her true face she created, and well, she's convulsing and she's trailing some of her body behind her, entrails behind her. Also, a breast has an eyeball on it, some veins in front of children in the audience. I was wondering when people would actually scream. It's the shock in their faces of what the actual fuck is that supposed to be? A genuine reaction to terror, not the sound but the visual. Don't be scared, I'm just me. Again, very Doom Patrol Rita. Sue is beheaded by a member of the network, and another version appears and gushes blood everywhere. The double bass drumming, very hardcore Henry moment, and the music blasting, blood everywhere, dancers covered in blood. Very gunship music video from very 80s, very Carpenter Brute. She's spinning in her party dress and she's bleeding everywhere on everyone. And she's running around the theatre and the building, covering herself on every surface. The substance is getting everywhere. How much of their budget went on blood? Because looks like they used most of it for this part of the movie, making the elevator scene from The Shining look tame. She went out with a bang, and well, she cannot just seem to die. To me, that is. She looks like the conjoined twin from Total Recall with Arnie and a little bit of Krang and Murdoch. All blood and gore. It's all blood and glorific. Is she the thing to end herself, or keep going at this point? Because I'm really not fucking sure. It's kind of like Medusa looking, and she's like kind of like she's looked at herself and she's turned herself to stone, but she's not turned herself to stone in this point. She dragged us and she's literally went from stone to something else. She's dragged herself like a character from Dead by Daylight to shine once more over her star, because she is Elizabeth Sparkle, the real monster of this show, to oneself to go through this and still want to keep it at all costs to the original you. Would you do this? Would you think this is a bit, I would never do this, this is a bit excessive? The real monster is Hollywood, the real victim is you, us, and them. Ends. It's very techno again. Love it. So would you line up for the substance? Would you want to have 7 days off, 7 days on from being yourself or not being yourself, reliving a younger version of yourself, even though that younger version of yourself hasn't even existed? It's even a new creation for you to live and do the things that you may have regretted or you didn't do. Would you take the substance to relive this, to have this? Let me know in the comments below. Right, we are going to IMDb now to see what the substance was. An 18. No shit. It was body horror, dark comedy, monster horror, psychological horror, showbiz drama, horror, and sci-fi. A fading celebrity takes a black market drug, a cell-replicating substance that temporarily creates a younger, better version of herself. To them, not to you. It stars Demi Moore, Margaret Qualley, and Dennis Quaid. It was written and directed by Corey Lee Fargate, and her movies are amazing, and she got a lot of shit for this movie, and this movie got a lot of hysteria, especially in the fucking UK. People were literally losing their shit over some fucking body horror, and it was really annoying. But if you actually see the cover of the movie, then you would know that it is a body horror movie that's got crazy, serious subjects that are still going on today. So it says here, if you follow the instructions, what could go wrong? Yeah, if you follow the instructions, what the fuck could go wrong? Everything, it seems. So I'm wanting to see the words that they use to describe the substance. Body horror, body disfigurement, black market drug, female nudity, a lot of. Age discrimination, of course. Female full frontal nudity, lust for fame, fighting one's doppelganger, fountain of youth. Experimental drug, rapid aging, rivalry. Female aerobics instructor, fear of aging, celebrity disfigurement. Human metamorphosis, female star appears nude, three-headed monster, humanoid monster, beaten to death, ruined life, pulled one's own tooth, Hollywood Walk of Fame, Nightmare Sequence, High-Rise Apartment, Dark Secret, Self-Destructiveness, Hollywood, California, TV show within a film, Injury, Fictional Drug, Green Substance, Freak of Nature, Moral Dilemma, Replication, Chicken Leg, Younger Version of Character, Fictional Celebrity, Body Dysmorphic Disorder, Body metamorphosis, ageism, female real nudity, self-harm, killing another version of self, New Year's Eve show, watched up star, body, blood, no antidote, female monster, monster in the mirror, angry mob, nosebleed, spitting out tooth, ears fall off, 50-year-old woman, 50th birthday, car accident, TV show, tooth, losing a tooth pulling, fame, car crash, greed, California, and she's older than 50, ends with death, looking at oneself in the mirror, aspiring actress, selfishness, blood spatter, washed up actress, pursuit of fame, clout chaser then, television star, new girl in town, seeking fame, broken dream, seeking fame is should be slash porn star, Hollywood movie star, actress, drunkenness, Tinseltown, fighting with oneself, gluttony, regret, ambition, draining life force, women in jeopardy, movie star, seeking stardom, dreams of stardom, dream sequence, bloody face, dark side of fame, filming a TV show covered in blood, rejuvenation, cookbook, destruction, drug, substance, nightmare, financier, TV executive, old woman, recklessness, Hollywood mogul, fight, youth restored, elevator, jealousy, French cuisine, looking through a peephole, oh my god, a lurker, peeping Tom, even, fish star, fight to the death, violence, injectable substance, wound, bruise, unknown substance, death, grave consequences, sudden fame, overnight sensation, binary fission, one night stand, being recognised in the street, addiction, showdown, cytokinesis, body transformation, overnight success, TV exercise show, new self, former classmate, freak, former classmate relationship, body switching, overeating, aerobics on TV, asexual reproduction, stealing life force, transferring life force, hitting oneself on the head, life force, slapping one's own face, punching oneself in the face, white tile, corridor, luxury apartment, body image, hallway, alley, luxury condo, loss of self-esteem, female movie star, narcissism, risk-taking, avarice, superficiality, fictional movie star, fictional TV show, failure to learn from mistake, female celebrity, sacrificing one's life, style, self-sacrifice, taking a risk, female television star, vanity, ignoring a warning, haha, warning message, body dysmorphia, warning note, late for a date, getting ready for a date, woman puts on makeup, trying to recapture one's past, female frontal nudity, mutilation, female clone, clone monster, screaming woman, New Year's Eve, female protagonist, bathroom, price of fame, dark side of Hollywood, male nudity, where? Dark comedy, CGI nudity, was there? Pubic hair, woohoo! It gets its own mention, drug use, aerobics instructor, human cloning, spattered blood, DNA modification, metamorphosis, screaming in horror, 3 months later, reference to King Kong, female topless nudity, close up of woman's mouth, motorcycle, long take, telephone call, nudity, fly, restaurant, shower, gore, title directed by female, not thinking things through, ha ha ha. Title spoken by character, ugly woman, again in the eye of the beholder, exploding body, monster, monster horror, aggression, floor scrubbing, snow globe, birthday, pulling out a fingernail, out of order sign, doctor syringe, hospital package, ha. Identity, cigarette smoking, retirement gift, executive, woman vomits nostalgia, feelings of inadequacy, bare legs, not doing the right thing, inability to walk, false scenario, vacuuming a floor, human becomes a monster, female vomits, neighbor relationship, brutality, F word, a very little dialogue, bloodshed, apartment, bloodbath, glamour, male rear nudity, women in men's bathroom, corpse, African American man, vomiting, psychological horror, written by director, F rated, title appears in writing, Mexican man, real nudity, Mexican, Latino, female bare legs, male gaze, crap, showbiz drama. Wow, a whole load of random words there. And then we have, like I said, the parents' guide. This should be fun, and it's an 18. So apparently it's rated R for strong, bloody, violent content, gore, graphic nudity and language. Sex and nudity, severe. Violence and gore, severe. Profanity, moderate. Alcohol, drugs and smoking, moderate. Fighting and intense scenes, severe. Let's see. So, sex nudity, pervasive and exclusive full female nudity, hyper-sexualized female imagery, and zoomed female body shots of both fully naked and heavily exposed female breasts, bodies, buttocks, and crotches, inclusive of graphically aged and mutated full female nudity, including brief explicit female genitalia, one brief scene of male rear nudity in entirety. Extensive and explicitly eroticized female exercise segments, lengthy sexualized female breasts, and buttocks nudity of many topless showgirls in thongs. You say that's like a bad thing. Male ogle and objectifying female sexualized and scantily clad bodies, heterosexual foreplay with intense kissing, fondling, and sexual discourse. I don't remember the fondling, but yeah, I probably was not fucking paying attention. Fuck is used sparingly. Well, most people are thinking, what the actual fuck are they watching? So, Violence and gore. There are scenes of self-harm, yep. A character graphically stitches another's back. The stitches are seen piercing the skin in close-up and the scene lasts for a while. Well, it's not going to take 2 seconds to fucking sew up a spine, I can imagine. A woman injects a drug that opens up her back and another woman comes out. 2 characters get into a fight in which one of them gets their head bashed into a mirror repeatedly until their face is mutilated and unrecognisable. The same one then gets kicked over and over again until the side bursts open in a gory manner. Again, if you're getting kicked to death, then it's not going to be pretty. Extremely brutal and bloody. The internal organs of a woman fall out of her back in gory detail again. Body horror. A woman's mouth starts bleeding. She pulls several teeth in graphic detail. Very bloody. Again, pulling out teeth from your body isn't going to be pretty. A woman graphically rips off one of her fingernails in graphic detail, revealing skin and blood underneath. Again, if it wasn't supposed to be removed, then trauma to the area will happen. It will occur. Ear then suddenly falls off, covered in blood, revealing bloody flesh underneath. Again, if it wasn't supposed to fucking fall off in the first place, that would happen. A monstrous form of the lead character has its head smashed open. It explodes into a mess of gore and blood. The head grows back, but its hand then snaps off graphically. The gory, torn-off hand is shown dangling and the blood sprays out of the wound in an incredible over-the-top fashion resembling a fire hose. Again, it was fucking glorious. The entire room and many people are doused in blood. Everyone is blood graphically, including the children in the front row. The monster then leaves and covers a different hallway in more thick blood. After stepping outside, its leg snaps graphically and the monster explodes upon impact of the ground into a mess of gore and organs. And then it gets cleaned up, by the way, like it was nothing. A woman pulls a chicken bone out of her belly button. That made me fucking piss myself. Profanity apparently is moderate, but it doesn't really say anything else or gives you any examples. Frequent scenes of the character inject himself with an unnamed drug under alcohol, drugs, and smoking. Some drinking and smoking happens. Sue and Elizabeth do not smoke. Alcohol is present in some scenes, and the main character drinks martinis to the point of sickness in one scene. It's because she's sick of herself and everyone else. One character injects a needle into the other's spine repeatedly, leaving marks, and it gets fucking disgusting because she keeps repeatedly stabbing it into the one place, and as you can imagine, an infection will happen over time, especially when you're not looking after yourself. Fighting and intense scenes, intensely extensive female nudity and hypersexualized female imagery with intensely excessive zoomed female body shots and female body gore that may be too graphic for sensitive viewers. You shouldn't be watching an 18 about body horror if you can't fucking handle it. Easily akin to the NC-17 due to pervasive and graphic full female nudity, grotesquerie, and disturbing violent content. A character locks herself inside a bathroom while an assailant smashes into the room. Bloody horror scenes include people being drenched in blood. Some of these occur within moments of self-harm. The final form of the main character is very grotesque and disturbing. I am not surprised. A vehicle crashes into a person's car, spinning the vehicle around. That is like the most tame thing that happens in that movie. Again, it was in the United Kingdom, I think it was an 18. Yeah. United States, it was an R. And most of Europe, it seems to be between 15 and 18. And again, Canada, it was an 18 as well. But in Quebec, it was a 13 plus. Okay, then. It's just weird to see that. So we have done the Parents Guide. We have done the parental warnings, the plot, and the taglines. So let's see what the gross was. Is it going to tell us? Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. So the budget for the movie was $17.5 million just for the movie. So for the actual promo for itself, you're probably thinking about double that, maybe more. Opening weekend in US on the 22nd of September last year was $3,205,212. Grossing US and Canada was $17,295,967, but worldwide it made $77,027,984. So even if it cost double that, say it cost $40 in total, including obviously the budget and the promo, it still made more. It still made its money back when then some, and has been nominated for so many awards, personally for Demi Moore and also for the movie itself, the direction and the story. So it has shown a lot of the realities of Hollywood and showing Demi in a way that no one has ever seen her before. And I've said I want to see her in more things like this. So it got 7.3 out of 10. So let's do our 10 ratings and then, we'll do our 10 ratings and then we'll go to our 1s and then I'll do my rating and then one that's closer to the rating. So we're going to do the reviews and go to 10s. So this was written by Feast Mode. My single most memorable movie experience, and I've seen thousands, I estimate about 5k movies in my 39 years on this earth. I can't remember once ever hitting me so hard. I was sweating when it finished, even in a cool auditorium. Words to describe how I feel until now, a full hour after, shocked, floored, stuck, traumatized in a good way. This movie affected me, it destroyed me. As soon as the credits rolled, everyone in the theatre started talking to each other, saying things like, whoa, oh my god, what the hell, bro, while laughing in shock. There are random people I don't know. We continue to discuss it afterwards. That's never happened to me before. Don't watch this movie if the following apply to you. You are squeamish, sensitive, or easily triggered. You don't know what body horror is. You're not familiar with dark comedies and you close your eyes at scary parts. You are looking for a date movie. This is not it. If the following does apply to you, go see this now. With watching a trailer or reading what it's about, you are fully desensitized. You're annoyed with all the neutered PG-13 movies. You even think modern R-rated movies are too mild and don't go all out. You feel like movies are all the same or fail to stand out. The acting is great, with Demi Moore possibly giving her best performance. All technical aspects are pristine, with the sound design mixing standing out the most. If the director wants you to hear something chewing obnoxiously, it will sound like the mic is in his mouth. Like the rest of the movie, everything is in your face in an intentionally off-putting way. About halfway through, I was really enjoying it, but I was worried that it would go the way of many style over substance movies. They really land for me because I need more than the metaphors and the deeper meanings. The Substance has all those things, but still comes through with one of the satisfying third acts I can think of. I rarely ever give 10-star ratings, including comedies. 13 ever, and rewatchability plays a big factor. I don't care. Even if I only watch this a couple of times more, I will never forget this experience or images that are seared into my brain forever. And I totally agree with that review. There is another one, Wall Just Wall. The Substance is one of the best horror films of 2024. Again, I agree. It definitely has a cult classic potential, and aging celebrity Elizabeth Sparkle, played by Demi Moore, is fighting with trying to stay relevant as an A-list fitness host. Her boss, Dennis Quaid, is ready to ditch her for a younger, more beautiful talent. After a car accident and a chance of meeting with a young registered nurse, Elizabeth finds a mysterious thumb drive in her pocket. She views what is on the thumb drive and initially she throws it out. Curiosity gets the best of Elizabeth and she's soon on the road to rejuvenation and injection of the substance. A new Elizabeth, Sue, is born. They are both a part of each other and are supposed to alternate time, 1 week in one body and the next in the other. Sue's personality is enjoying the attention and starts bending the rules, leading to disastrous effects on Elizabeth. The Substance is body horror at its finest, with a good dose of dark humour to boot. The film reminds me of films like Videodrome, The Fly and Hellraiser, with a good mix of gore and humour. Again, I see not just the body horror from all those movies. I also see Scanners. I also see Reanimator. I see all these things, and that is why I enjoyed it so much. So I'm going to go to the 1-star reviews because there probably is some people out there ready to give it 1 star. Major disappointment. Here we go. The Substance is a movie that misses the mark on almost every level. Okay. What could have been a thought-provoking or unsettling experience instead turns into a gross out fest that drags on for far too long. Kind of like your review. From the unnecessary and prolonged scenes of body-like horror and the cringe-worthy tooth-pulling to the nauseating sound effects of eating, the movie seems more focused on provoking disgust than telling a coherent or meaningful story. Again, this person obviously hasn't had issues with themselves or even experienced other people going through things like this on a daily basis, of course. The pacing is another major flaw. Scenes that should have been quick and impactful are instead drawn out to the point of frustration, making the film feel bloated and tedious. Every disturbing moment lingers far too long. It's not actually lingering far too long, it's showing you the actual reaction of the things you'll do to yourself to actually be a better version of yourself. If they just showed you it in a quick fashion, then you'd get people like me going, why the fuck did they not fucking show it in more fucking detail? A Kurt 16329, you really need to shut the fuck up. So what they're saying is the filmmakers are desperately trying to shock the audience rather than engage them. Well, I was engaged, shocked, mortified, and I literally had this biggest smile on my fucking face after watching it. I'm not the fucking only person who feels that way as well about this movie. So many people I know who have watched it and I've watched it with had a smile on their face, who love body horror and love up close and love up close gore. Basically, if you don't like body horror, you're not going to like it. If you don't like fucking grotesque, bloody violence, you're not going to like it. So fuck off. In short, The Substance felt like a test of endurance, but the only reward was getting through it. If you're looking for a film with substance, this isn't it unless you are after endless, gross out moments with no deep purpose. We hated it. Well, you probably don't like body horror and you wanted to be one of those people that fucking complained about things because that's what they do. So apparently was it 7 point something out of 10? So let's see, it was great, but it lost it at the end. Again, it needed a big ending like it did. If you're anything like myself who loves horror and is obsessed with horror and you're going to continuously just be waiting for the next big horrific moment, well, this movie did it for me and many, many others. Was enjoyable watch, but the last 20-30 minutes kind of got silly and dumb. It lost its intelligence and subtlety, to say the least, and went to pure dumb gross out scenery, complete unnecessary, especially when the message wasn't exactly subtle and was evident throughout the entire movie from the premise itself, to be honest. Point is, they could have ended on such a much stronger note before the final change, as it added nothing to what it was trying to say or show. Not that it should turn anyone off from watching it. It's a good movie that will keep you interested from start to finish, but should have been 20 minutes shorter. This is from Stephen Monkey Dishwasher. Go back to washing dishes, mate, because you obviously don't understand what body horror is. I have the same fucking argument with people every time they watch body horror where they say, oh, it's unnecessary violence, it's unnecessary gore. It's a fucking genre called body horror and gore for a fucking reason. If you can't fucking handle it, don't fucking watch it. You wanted to watch it because it had someone in it like Demi Moore and Dennis Quaid. And again, it was something that you weren't used to seeing that type of actress do. But that actress has been through her own turmoil in Hollywood, being a woman in her 20s, as a teenager, growing up in that world, being the head of her game, being in a relationship with another big actor who was Bruce Willis. And she's lived through everything like that. A young person, a married woman, she's a mother, she's a grandmother now. She's literally lived in a world where you had to be perfect. You had to feel perfect and paint on a fucking smile whether you liked it or not. She has changed herself for society and Hollywood to fit in. And you've seen the turmoil of what happened to her and her relationships and her relationship with herself, her relationship with Hollywood. And this movie fucking shows it. Yes, it's bloody and gory, but it's trying to shock people into the fact that some people feel this way on a daily fucking basis about themselves because of how society makes you feel. And how society tells you you're not fucking good enough at any fucking age, whether it's your body or it's how people perceive you or how you act. It's literally the world telling you that you don't fucking fit in, when it doesn't fucking matter if the world or society wants you to fucking fit in. As long as you like yourself and you care about yourself enough, then it shouldn't matter what the fuck other people fucking say. But it does. The society we live in, it's all about the outside fucking world rather than what is in the inside, which is you. And this is what annoys me about people when they fucking don't understand a movie and they don't understand the story and the picture they're trying to fucking show you that Hollywood and Hollywood and the people that are in it's a fucking cesspool and it's not going to get any fucking better. So, what do I give this movie out of 5? Because you know I do 5, not 10 here. I give it 4.5 out of 5. Why? Let's discuss why. Demi's comeback. We needed this. But most of all, Demi needed this for herself. This was to show us that she has more to offer. We cannot wait to see what you have up your sleeve next. Hats off to you, Demi, because this is a belter of a movie and you fucking slayed the shit out of this. So fucking proud of you for showing everyone the darkness that this world brings to each and every one of its residents and how it makes everyone feel inadequate and making us all look human. Demi's performance was outstanding and her best yet, and I want to see her in more of this sort of world than what she has done previously. She is a very talented actor and she needed roles like this. She needed to push her boundaries so we can see her raw talent as she did in this movie. To me, showed us the reality of how things could be if this was an option. Would you change yourself for the substance? Seeing this movie shows how ugly and how the world perceives everyone, male, female, age, anything really. If you don't fit in this box of what they perceive as beauty, which is not always beautiful, it opens your eyes to how some people see themselves. It opens your eyes to how you see yourself, and she did it. I think the young woman playing Sue played in a remarkable role herself. I haven't seen her in anything else, but her name is literally it's in lights now from this movie. She got to work with people like Dennis Quaid and Demi Moore. She got to work with a director and a writer who obviously wants the world to see how disgusting the world can actually be in the face of beauty over talent. No matter what your age, your talent will never go away. And your beauty, again, is only in the eye of the beholder. And it shouldn't fucking matter what you look like on the outside. It's what you are on the inside because that never ages. I love this movie. It was one of the movies that caused a lot of hysteria last year. It caused a lot of people to talk about body horror. Body horror was all over the place because of the shock value that the movie actually shown at the cinema. People saying they were physically sick. I was physically sick hearing the fact that people didn't understand body horror before going to the cinema. But hey, would I like to see Demi Moore in more movies like this where she does show her raw talent? Yes, I would. I think most actors should be showing us what they can do, and it shouldn't be about their outside fucking packaging. It should be about the talent that they can actually bring to a project. And I would really like to see more of this sort of movie in the cinema. Not just for October and for the darker times, that body horror is for all time and any time. So let's fucking bring it. Let's think outside the box and let's bring us a movie that makes us shocked, has us talking, and makes us fucking think. And when we shut our eyes, what fucking scene from this movie do you see the most? I'm not sure if it's when she's making fun of herself or when she has her first transition or when the last transition and she's totally destroying the audience because that was hilarious. I'll never laugh so hard at a horror movie in my life, but I was enjoying it and I was there for it, and I really enjoyed breaking it down and reviewing it again because there was issues with Craigbot and Discord. But have you seen The Substance? Did you enjoy The Substance? What was your favourite part of The Substance? What was your least favourite part? Did you not enjoy it? Let us talk about it in the comments below. I'm Lady Darcy Darkness. If you like content like this, remember to check out our Confessions from the Dark Side social media platforms, which are Twatter, which is X, Instagram, YouTube, Amazon Music, Spotify, Buzzsprout, and Threads. Let us know what you think on our social media platforms. Let's get chatting about this topic, all the topics. Let's grow the community. Let's spread how awesome horror and the community actually is. And if you want to get to know us as individuals, like I said, I do have a Twitch and you can check me out on there. It's again Behind the Mash Reviews and the spelling is on screen. And we talk about horror on there too, and we talk about random shit over there, and we have lots of fun and laughs. Who's all getting in line for The Substance? Form an odd like you, and don't worry, there's enough to go around. Remember, you can be the best version of yourself with The Substance. And I'm Lady Darcy Darkness. That was Confessions from the Darkside, Reviews from the Darkside, The Substance. And I'll see you in the next one. Later.